So again, welcome to Mindful Yoga. We're just going to right away close the eyes and notice how you feel in your seat. Maybe rock a little forward and back, maybe side to side. Feel your sits bones on the mat and find that neutral grounding place. And when you feel comfortable, settle in, feel the weight of your buttocks on the mat. And send your awareness up through the spine to grow a little bit taller. Find your natural alignment, your shoulders back a little bit, shoulders gently coming towards each other, but shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. And you might want to bring the chin back just a little bit if your ears might be forward of your shoulders. So just notice your tendencies. In Mindful Yoga, we're becoming more and more aware of the subtleties in the body. So we're just quieting the mind with this awareness of the body. Settling into our posture, feeling grounded in the bottom half and rising upwards in the upper part of the body. Taking deeper breaths, consciously sending the breath down to the bottom of the lungs without any effort or force. Just let the belly expand and the breath rise up to the very top of the lungs, underneath the collarbones. And letting the breath glide down from the top to the bottom, feeling the belly empty out and drawing the navel back into the spine and up gently, squeezing out the breath. Your next breath's naturally deeper. And just continue this 3-part breath, our Durga Pranayama breath. And feel free to add the Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath, contracting the throat. A very subtle contraction. So we're slowing the breath down. Affecting all systems of the body, but also connecting the mind to the body through the breath. And just staying with the noticing of what's here, what's present. As we rest in stillness and silence. Just feeling and being. Feel the naturalness of just being. And again, thoughts will come up, and they naturally do. That's the work of the mind. But we just stay with the noticing of those thoughts. Never pushing anything away. But you may begin to notice the moment the mind comes forward. Just allow it to be, let it come, and then let the thoughts just drift away. We're going to add a retention of breath. So we're going to take a breath in on the count of 4, hold for a count of 2, and exhale on the count of 4. So let's begin, taking a full breath in, counting to 4, 3, 2, 1, holding the breath for 2, 1, and exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll repeat that. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to lengthen the exhalation and holding time by 1 count. So it'll be inhaling 4, holding 3, and exhaling 6. So let's take a breath in, counting to 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the breath. Let your natural breath flow resume and simply feel the effect of this simple breathing technique. Regulating the nervous system, calming the mind, and balancing our emotions. And please bring the hands together in front of your heart as we chant the sound of Om, taking a full breath in, belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling fully. And again, inhaling deeply. And releasing the hands to the thighs. And just feeling the effect of that short chant, vibrations. And then letting the eyes slowly float back open. And we're going to take a breath in, bring the arms out and up. Staying connected to ourselves, this mindful way of moving. And exhaling, lowering the arms down. A deep in-breath, again, reaching the arms out and up. And lengthen through the spine and lift the heart up towards the sky a little bit. And exhaling slowly, releasing the arms once again. And again, inhale the arms out and up, lifting the heart, maybe even more, reach to the fingers. And exhaling, lowering the hands. Keeping the left hand on the mat, inhale the right arm up. And exhale, reach up and over slowly to the left. You can walk the fingers to the left or bend the elbow, but keeping the right sits bone grounded. Inhale, take another breath in to open the side body a little bit more, reaching. And as you exhale, relax your head and neck and anywhere where there might be some tension building. And inhale, reach the right fingers back up, lower the hand to the mat. And inhale the left arm out and up. Find that length. And exhale again, up and over now to the right. Keeping that left shoulder back, not coming forward because we're getting a little twist. We're just a lateral bend here. Inhale again, lengthen, ground down that left sits bone. And as you exhale, soften. Maybe release the head and neck down a little bit. And inhale, reach the left arm back up. And exhale, lowering the hand down. We're going to inhale again, the arms out and up. Reach up, draw the navel in. Again, lift the heart, keep the height. As we exhale, gently twisting left, lowering the left hand behind you, the right hand on your left thigh or knee. And again, inhale, lengthen, relax the shoulders down. As you exhale, gently deepening the twist. Notice if your legs are tightening up. How can you relax? Using the breath to calm, to soothe the system, finding our own edge. And inhaling, reaching the arms back up and unwinding with length. And exhale again, staying tall and gently twisting to the right, lowering the hands. And again, rooted down and relaxed. Inhale, lengthen through the upper body. And exhale, gently twisting right. The navel, the ribs, the chest, but keeping broad in the chest. So not letting that left shoulder creep forward. Keep it wide. The shoulder blades are actually coming towards each other a little bit here. And inhale, lengthening, reaching the arms up. And exhale all the way down. Good. And just take a rest for just a moment to feel the body. To exhale out, again, any accumulated tensions. To return back to that very mindful state, our natural state of stillness. And bringing that with you, letting your eyes open and mindfully coming to tabletop pose. Hands and knees, shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees and feet are hip width apart. So take a look behind you and see that the feet are back hip width apart. So we're going to spread the fingers wide. Take a look at your hands. Spread them as wide as you can and root down the base of the pinky, the base of the first finger, the base of the thumb, the heels of the hand, and then grip with the fingers a little bit. And we're pressing into that mat nice and strong. And bend the elbows just a little bit and then press the arms towards each other. Feel the inner elbows spiral forward. We're lengthening from tail through crown. So on an exhalation, draw the navel in through the spine. And on an in-breath, we're going to curl the toes under and lift your tail and let your heart gently pull through and lifting the gaze upwards. So initiating the movement of the tailbone. And exhaling, bringing the tops of the feet back to the mat, curling the tail under, pressing into the mat to round the spine to that Halloween cat. Drop the head. Continuing on your own, coordinating and balancing that breath with the movement, letting it become a meditation in motion. So all our movements are mindfully happening. Mind connected to the body through the breath. Adding your Ujjayi breath, listening to the sound of your breath, and feeling each vertebra in your spine. On your next exhalation, bringing the tops of the feet to the mat, curling the tail under, but pressing our hips back to the heels. And reaching forward with the arms. Again, hands are nice and wide. The middle of your wrist in line with the outsides of your shoulders. Opening up the hands as wide as you can. Again, pressing into all four corners of your hands and gripping with your fingertips. And maybe reaching a little bit further to lengthen the side body, reaching the tail back. We're getting a nice length through the spine here. And we're going to inhale, slowly come up onto knees, leaving your hands where they are, and shifting the hips a little forward. Pay attention to your low back. You don't have to come very far, but maybe it feels good to come all the way. And again, exhaling, coming up and back, again into child's pose with a nice extension of the arms. And inhale, coming up. Open the heart here. Draw the arms back. Bend the elbows just a little bit. And exhale, sitting back. We're going to repeat this, adding hip circles. So as we come up, inhaling, we're going to begin to shift the hips over to the left and coming forward. And exhaling, shifting hips over to the right and coming back. Inhaling left. And just let this feel really good in the spine and the hips. So hearing my instructions, but listening to your body, being very mindful of your needs. And then we'll pause wherever it feels right and reverse. Go the other direction. In breath. Forward and exhaling back. Just 2 more times, circling in this direction. Creating more mobility in our spine, opening the joints. And when you're complete, once again, sitting back on the heels and bringing the arms alongside the body with the palms up, just bringing the forehead down to the mat and resting, emptying out. Relax the shoulders heavily over the thighs and send your breath deep into the belly. And with the pressure of your thighs on your belly, feel the expansion in the low back, the opening of the low back with breath. And on your next inhalation, again, reaching the arms all the way forward, reaching the tail back, spreading those fingers wide. Again, we're going to come forward and up, this time curling the toes under, coming into a downward facing dog. So again, bend the elbows a little bit, spiral the inner elbows forward, squeezing the arms towards each other. Inhaling and exhaling, pressing the mat away to lift the hips up and back, keeping the knees nice and bent. Reach through the hip creases and lift your tail, but the arms are really strong. Again, focusing on the hands, pressing into all those corners, fingers wide, and then pressing the heels away from you, not compromising the length in your spine. You don't have to straighten them all the way. And maybe you'd like to bend one knee and then the other, maybe rocking the hips a little side to side. Again, what would feel good in your body is if you've just woken up from a nap and your body just begins to stretch. You don't think about how you're going to do it. It just happens. So what feels good? You can feel the side body stretch a little bit more maybe. Feel the stretch in the backs of the legs. And then we're going to inhale and just walk the feet forward. You can crisscross the feet as you go or not. Just walking up to the hands. Feet are hip width apart. Lift your toes, spread them out, and lower the feet back down as you allow the upper body to fold forward. The knees are nice and bent. So we're allowing the pelvis to tilt forward by bending the knees, and the spine can come forward and all the weight can hang forward. Getting a gentle traction of the spine, and maybe a little swaying from side to side. And it's really nice sometimes to interlace your fingers behind the base of the skull to allow greater traction in the neck. Just releasing a little compression from our daily life of standing and sitting. And on an in-breath, lower the hands to the mat. And with your fingertips either on blocks or the floor in front of your toes or on your shins, we're going to come up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana, lifting the tail, pressing it back, and extending through the crown, pulling the shoulders away from the ears so the chin is gently into the throat, so the back of the neck stays long. And as you exhale next, again, bend the knees and lower down. We'll bring our hands to the hips, elbows back, lift the head and chest, press into the feet, and on your next breath, slowly come up to a standing position. Relax here, take a breath, connect again with the stillness, the openness, the expansiveness of the present moment. In yoga, we begin to learn to be content with just what's here. No doing, no thinking, just being. We're going to do simple sun salutation, or a nice slow sun salutation. So keeping your feet a couple or a few inches apart, again, lifting the toes, spreading them out, really grounding down the feet and bringing that energy up through the legs. The upper buttocks are down and in, lifting the thighs, letting the tail reach towards the pubic bone and the pubic bone reaching towards the tail, leveling the pelvis. Inhaling, pressing into the feet and maintaining the strength in our hips down to the feet. Lengthen up through the spine. Roll the shoulders gently back and down so the palms are facing in towards your thighs. And bringing the chin back possibly a little bit if you feel that the ears are coming forward of the shoulders. Coming into a nice alignment of the body, and just feel that for a moment. Notice if your feet are symmetrical. Maybe one toe is turned out a little bit. The heels should be slightly further apart than the toes. Feel nice and grounded and lifted. And then bring your hands to your heart. Soften your eyes and gaze at your fingertips. On our next inhalation, we're going to extend the hands straight up overhead. Pressing the palms together, arms alongside the ears. Again, grounding into the feet. Pull the low back into the spine as you lift your heart up towards the sky. A gentle back bend in the upper back. So by pulling the low back in, we're protecting the low back. Notice if your feet have swished, if you're beginning to lean to the outsides of the feet or inside, and root down equally. Lift your heart. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly begin to lower the hands to the heart. Bend your knees and fold forward. Lowering your hands to the mat. The thumbs are beside the pinky toe and the upper head hangs down towards the mat once again. On an in-breath, we're going to step back with the right foot. Again, check that your feet are hip-width apart. Left knee's over the ankle, and we'll lower the right knee down to the mat. Bring the top of the foot onto the mat. And then maybe you want to adjust here. Let your pelvis relax down. Notice if the left knee is going beyond the ankle, you want to bring that foot a little further forward. We want the knee directly above the ankle. We also want to square the hips. So we want to draw the right hip forward a little bit, pressing into that front foot. And let's bring our hands to the thigh and slowly come up. Coming up a little higher, taking a breath in, and then exhale, conscious of the low back pulling in, slowly relax down to our edge. Keeping the right hip pulling forward, squeezing the inner thighs. You can even press into that top foot a little bit. The top of the right foot. And let's bring the hands to the heart. And on in-breath, slowly extend the arms up overhead. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. It's going to square the hips. Lift your heart up. And just as we did a moment ago in that back bend, pull the low back in to protect your low back as we begin to lift the heart. Reach up through the fingers, arms alongside the ears, not letting the head drop back. Take another breath in and exhale. Release the arms out to the sides and slowly lower them back down to the mat. Take another breath in and exhale. Begin to shift the hips back. So we want to keep the right hip over the knee. If you find it's going back, then just walk the left foot forward a little bit. Keep the belly in contact with the thigh. This is a nice place to have blocks. Remember, we have 3 heights. But this way we can come up a little bit and be more at ease in the pose. Maybe letting the left toes curl up. And again, press into the big toe mound of that left foot to bring the left hip back and square with the right. The left knee does not have to straighten. It can stay a little bent. In fact, it's nice to inhale and exhale, coming out and in a little bit. So you can really find that first place of tightness. Smile at that place. Be soft with it. Be gentle with yourself. And settle into the pose. On an inhalation, lengthen from tail through crown. Reach the heart through. Stay long in your spine. And every exhalation, see if you can soften a little bit more somewhere. And on your in-breath, we'll slowly release that left foot back down. Lower the hands to the mat and bring the left foot back. Sit back in child's pose for just a moment. And on an in-breath, slowly come up. We're going to bring the right foot back and then the left, coming into plank pose. I'm going to remove my block here. And the body is straight in plank pose. We want the tail reaching back towards the heels, drawing the navel forward and up. Again, elbows can slightly bend and then draw the arms towards each other. Inner elbow spiraling forward. At any time, you can lower the knees here. Otherwise, press the mat away, lengthening the spine from the heels all the way through the tail, through the base of the skull, and out through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the knees to the mat. If they're raised, take another breath in. And exhale, begin to bend the elbows, lowering the chest straight down. Let your tail lift. And then lowering the sternum straight down between the thumbs. Bring the tops of the feet to the mat. And pressing into the tops of the feet, let the legs be nice and strong. And the pubic bone rooted to the mat, forehead on the mat. No weight on the hands, bringing the elbows in and back. On an inhalation, simply slowly lift the forehead, the chin, and the chest. Bringing the heart through. And gentle traction of your hands on the mat to bring the elbows in and back, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Legs are strong and rooted, pubic bone pressing, and the heart expanding. Take another breath in. Curl the toes, press yourself up onto your knees. And exhale into child's pose. Arms alongside the body. If that feels better, you can relax the shoulders that way. And inhaling once more, coming to tabletop pose. Walking the hands a little forward, curling the toes, and again coming to downward facing dog. Start with bent knees, find the length. Notice your hands, notice your feet are hip width apart. And if your knees are falling in, see if you can widen at the thighs to bring the knees directly in front of the ankles. You shouldn't see your heels either. They should be back behind your feet. Good. And take a breath in and shift forward, bringing your right foot between your hands, coming into lunge. Lowering the left knee down to the mat and bringing the top of the left foot to the mat. So again, coming up and down a little bit, finding your edge where you can settle and be comfortable. Right knees over the ankle. And bringing our hands to the thigh, pressing into that foot and slowly coming up. Protecting the low back. If it's at all uncomfortable, just step that left knee in a little closer so the left hip is directly above the left knee. In either case, you want the right knee directly over the ankle. So we're drawing the thighs towards each other again to square the hips, pressing into the front foot. And notice if you're shifting out to the side of that foot, press a little bit more into the big toe mound. Pull the low back in, draw the navel in, draw the shoulders back, chin back. And we're going to inhale, again, the hands to the heart. Slowly bring them up overhead. Lifting the heart up towards the sky, pulling the hips forward, and breathing deeply. Ujjayi Durga Pranayama. And notice any activity of the mind and gently draw it back inside to what you feel and the breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the hands to the heart, bringing the hands to the mat. And once more, take a breath in. And exhale, slowly shifting the hips back. Letting the toes lift. Keeping the belly in contact with the thigh. And again, maybe rocking forward and back a little bit so we can just feel that first edge of a little tightness coming up. And each side might be totally different. Again, pressing into the big toe mound of that right foot to pull the right hip back and even feel that femur bone pulling into the hip socket or squaring the hips. And breathing. And now inhale, lengthen through the spine, pull the heart forward. And as you exhale, soften a little bit more into your pose. Remember, we can be on blocks here, any height, just to give yourself a little bit more stability, a little more comfort in the pose, whatever works for you. Okay. Holding for another breath or two, and just breathing right into the area where you're feeling that stretch or tension. And inhale slowly, release that right foot back down. Remove the blocks. Let's curl the left toes under. Step forward with the left foot. Again, feet a few inches apart, letting the upper body hang forward. Bringing the palms together, gazing at the fingers. Inhale and slowly lift the head and chest, and rising up all the way to standing, extending the arms straight up overhead. Palms pressing together, arms alongside the ears, pull the low back in. Inhale, lift your heart. Reach the fingertips as high as you can. And exhale, slowly lower the hands to the heart. Release the arms down, close your eyes. And without any effort, you notice you arrive again in that familiar place. We can call it home. This empty, open, spacious field of awareness. And opening your eyes and gently coming back. I'm going to turn this direction. You can stay where you are. Preparing for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So we want to stand with our feet a few inches apart. Again, finding our mountain pose first by lifting the toes, spread them out, feel the arches lift, and lower the toes, maintaining that lift in the arch and that energy up through the legs, firming into all four corners of the feet. Firming the upper buttocks, the inner thighs, as we press down into the feet and extend up through the spine and crown. Shoulders back and down. And again, bringing the hands to the heart. Soften your eyes, just gazing forward. Nothing else to do but being here right now. And on an in-breath, continue to gaze forward and slowly extend the arms straight up overhead. If this gets at all uncomfortable, feel free to separate the hands, make the hands wide, or bend the elbows. I'm going to stay here and interlace my fingers and release the index finger coming into temple pose. Notice if the spine is coming forward. Drop the upper buttocks down and in, let the belly come in, the low ribs, but lift the heart as you press into the feet and extend up through the spine, out through the fingers. One more breath in, lengthen, and exhale, come up and over to the left as you shift your hips to the right. I'm mirroring you. So you're going the same direction I am. We're going slowly, so we notice if we begin to twist in this pose or the spine again starts to come forward, you want to keep the right shoulder back, the right hip back, and keep the upper buttocks down and in as the heart lifts up. So don't worry about how far you're coming. We don't want to collapse on the left side. We want to keep that lifted as well. And notice this edge is getting stronger. Add your Ujjayi breath. On another breath, reach up, come all the way back up tall. And exhale, keep reaching up as you come over now to the right, shifting the hips to the left. Arms are alongside the ears. Upper buttock stays down and in. Deep breath, reach. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, palms together, slowly lowering them back down to your heart. Release the arms to your sides, close your eyes, and just feel. There's delicious energy that's moving in the body, that's flooding the system, and allow it to calm your nerves and find you once again in that openness of just being. Good, and opening the eyes once again. So we're going to stand with our feet about hip width apart, spreading the toes, always that base, that strong groundedness in the feet. So lifting and spreading the toes, rooting down in all four corners of the feet, energy lifting up through the body, shoulders back and down. And as we press down to the feet, we extend up. Keeping our breath steady and smooth. You might just begin here with your 3-part breath with the Ujjayi breath as well. Ocean sounding breath. And let's take a breath in and bring the arms up, shoulder height, and notice if they've come forward. Roll them back and down. We're going to keep the shoulders relaxed, the head and neck relaxed. So we're always present and staying calm, focused, and at ease. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, begin to bend your knees, but also send your hips back. There's a chair right behind you. Notice if your knees are starting to come in, widen the knees so they remain in line with the ankles. Keep the shoulders rolled back. Nice expansiveness in the chest. So it's not about coming down really far. It's about relaxing where you can be. So reaching the tail straight down. And we're still pressing into all four corners of the feet, but there's a little more weight in the heels. And we're breathing. You always have the option to remain here, or for a more challenging pose, maybe bringing the arms alongside the ears. So that can be rather strenuous, so it's not necessary, but you might want to explore that a little bit. Take a nice breath in, release, soften the jaw, the eyes, and inhale, slowly come all the way up. Bring the arms up if they were down, reach up through the fingers, and exhale the palms together down to the heart. Release the arms and feel the unique effects from this pose. Dive right into those sensations, remaining in a meditative state by focusing and concentrating on energy and breath. Good, and opening the eyes when you're ready. And coming to the front of your mat if you're not there, preparing for warrior one pose. Again, now the feet are hip width apart. Establish your grounded base in the feet, grounded from the hips down to the feet, energy rising up through the spine. Go ahead and bringing the hands to the hips. And we're going to let the elbows come back, so we're staying nice and wide in the heart. Lengthen all the way up. Take a deep breath in as you gaze forward. And exhale, we're going to hinge forward at the hips, bend the left knee, bring the right foot straight back. And right away notice if they're hip width apart. We want to keep them wide enough so we're not on a tight rope. If they're too close together, we're not going to be able to balance here. If they're too far apart, it's going to affect our hips. So we want to keep them hip width apart and find a comfortable place to be, hinging forward for now in a diagonal. Keeping the left knee over the ankle, press into the big toe mound of the front foot. And notice if you are pressing more into the outside of your right foot or inside, press into the ball of the foot a little bit more. Nice and strong to straighten that leg. And paying attention to your low back, we're going to actually bend the knee now before coming into the full pose, coming all the way upright. Squaring the hips, squeezing the inner thighs will help to draw the hips square to the front. And now with the upper buttocks down and in, the belly in and lengthened and pressing down to the front foot, we begin to press back into the rear heel, straightening this leg as much as you can without forcing. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. Again, squeezing the inner thighs. Feel that shift now. You might need to bend the knee a little bit more now. Bringing the hands to the heart, soft eyes, soft jaw, no anticipations here. And inhale, slowly extend the arms straight up overhead as we did before. Palms can be together, fingers interlaced into temple, or again, you can bring your arms to cactus if you prefer. Press down into the front foot, back into that rear heel, and from that rear heel, lengthen all the way up through the spine, up through the crown and out through the fingers. Establish a smooth, steady breath. If that's not possible, you're in too deep in the pose. So notice that. Press into the big toe mound of that right foot. Squeeze those inner thighs. Breathe deeply in and out. Notice if there's a shift, if the mind's becoming more active, and let it be, let it come, let it go. Take another breath. And exhale, slowly lower the hands to the heart. Leaning forward and press off that right foot to bring yourself back to a standing position. Lower your arms, let your eyes just close. And drop right back into emptiness. The still part of us has no opinion on anything. It just observes and witnesses. And preparing for the other side. We'll bring our hands again to the hips, elbows back. Feel nice and grounded in your feet, gazes forward. And taking a nice breath in, shifting our weight into the right foot, bending the right knee and stepping straight back with the left foot. Make any adjustments you need. Make sure you're comfortable in a good stance for you. Right knee's over the ankle and hinging forward. And bending that back knee and coming upright. Let the tail drop, pull it in. Draw the navel in, squeeze the inner thighs to draw the hips square. And then you can begin to press into that rear heel without letting the tail lift, without the pelvis tilting forward. You want it to reach down and under a little bit here. Again, squeezing in, pressing a little more into the big toe mound of the left foot. Straightening the leg as best you can, bringing the hands to the heart. And with soft facial expression, inhale the arms slowly up overhead. Again, any arm position is fine. Reaching up, squeezing the inner thighs, pressing down, and now pressing back into the rear heel and lengthening from there all the way up through the spine, through the crown, through the fingers. And follow your breath. Ujjayi Dirga Pranayama, the ocean sounding 3-part breath. Notice the effect of deep breaths as you hold a pose that can feel strenuous. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly, lower the hands back to the heart, leaning forward and pushing off that left foot. Bringing the feet back together, lowering your arms, deep breaths. And exhale fully, releasing all the tension and experiencing warrior pose. And perhaps feeling a little bit in awe that your body can balance itself. You don't have to do anything. It's like a small miracle, I'd say. And then opening your eyes when you're ready. Let's prepare for a balancing pose. So we'll bring the feet together. We're going to practice Nataraj Asana, dancing Shiva. So big toes touching, heels a little bit apart. Again, lifting the toes, spreading them out, lowering the feet. In a balancing pose, we really want strength in the feet and really good grounding. Let the knees be soft. And again, lengthening up through the spine and through the crown. So we're going to shift our weight into the right foot. I'm mirroring you. The right leg is stronger now than the left. We're going to reach the right arm out and up, bringing the arm alongside the ear. And find that length, pressing into that right foot and reaching up through the right fingers. We're going to turn the left palm out to the side so the thumb is reaching back, reaching now in opposite directions with the fingers as well. Again, notice if the spine is coming forward. Drop the upper buttocks down and in. With our weight shifted into the right foot, we're going to bend the left knee. This can be the place where you stay today. That's fine. Or you can bring it back a little bit. We're going to keep the knees together if you bring them back. Maybe lifting the toes. Don't forget to press down and lengthen, reach in opposite directions, and experiment raising the left toes off the mat. Notice if the knees coming forward or back or out. Try to keep them together. And you have the option to maybe take a hold of your ankle, the inside of your foot or ankle or your pant leg. Again, keeping the knees together, pressing into that right foot, pulling everything in and up as we reach. You can press that foot into the hand if that's where you are, or stay right here. Take a breath in deeply and exhale slowly. Release the arm, release that left foot, and relax. I like to sigh. It helps release even more stuff for me that might be around. So you might want to try having nice deep sighs. Shake it out a little if you need, so that you can come back to that balance, that emptiness, so we can prepare for the other side. Bringing the feet together, letting go of anticipations, how this side's going to be, because it's going to be completely different. Big toes touching, heels a little apart, spreading the toes, pressing into the feet, nice and tall through the spine. And again, now shifting our weight into the left foot. Establish mountain pose on the left side body. You're not just hanging here, because that hip's going to come out. We want to press down so the hip comes in, they stay square. Bringing the left arm out and up, palm facing in, right palm out, thumb behind you. Reach in opposite directions now, nice and tall. Take a breath in, and exhale, bend that right knee. And you can stay right here. Find your pose, maybe bringing the foot back, bringing the knees together. Again, lengthening, not letting the belly come forward, upper buttocks down and in. And maybe lifting the toes off the mat. Wherever you are, see if you can just let it be. This is what we practice in Mindfull Yoga. Being at peace with what is. Whatever shows up. And it's not easy, it's just a practice. We'll find more peace in our lives if we can find the peace amidst the turmoil. One more breath, and exhale, lower that right foot, release the left arm. Let your eyes close or just keep them soft. And just meld into this wonderful feeling of released energy. Let it just take you into a state of calm. And you might notice there's still some place in your body where you habitually hold or tighten. And that's okay, just being more and more aware. Good. And then opening our eyes. Let's keep the feet hip width apart now. Heels are a little bit further apart. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, reach the knuckles down towards the mat, broadening the chest and keeping the shoulders back, ears over the shoulders. So sometimes we tend to do this, we want to bring the chin back. Relax the shoulders down, press into the feet, inhale, lengthen up through the spine and crown, and as we exhale, we're going to press the hips back and let the torso extend forward. So pay attention to your spine, that it doesn't round or shift. Keeping it neutral. Bend the knees if you need to. And coming slowly down, dropping the head, let it go, let it go, let it go. And inhale, reaching back with the knuckles and upwards. As you exhale, you may be able to soften, bringing the arms a little further forward. Deep breaths. Be sure your head and neck is fully relaxed. And you might feel some movement would be nice here. Swaying side to side. Eyes could be closed or open. Let your head and neck sway with the body. Maybe bending one knee more than the other and shifting. And you're squeezing those shoulder blades towards each other. We're stretching the pectoral muscles in the chest and also strengthening the muscles in the back, the shoulder blades. And coming to a steady position. If you've been moving, take a breath in. Exhale, lower your hands to your low back. Let the fingers release and release the arms. Let them dangle down towards the mat. And on your next inhalation, step one foot back and then the other. So you're sitting on your heels in hero's pose. That's not always comfortable for everyone, so you can take a block and place it between your ankles. Bring the flesh back from the calves and sit on that block with the tops of the feet on the mat. If that's not comfortable, you can put another block or find another seated position that's comfortable, that allows you to have a tall spine. Resting your hands on your thighs, and just for a moment, closing your eyes. Just again, settling back into our inner refuge, this place where we can heal and find some freedom from all the turmoil and struggles that tend to arise in our lives. We can't escape them, but we can learn to be a little different at those places of struggle. And then opening your eyes when you're ready. And please come down onto your belly. So lowering down, we're going to stretch out through the legs and stretch out through the fingers. Just let your forehead come down to the mat. Take a couple of breaths. Relax here. Good. And now reach a little bit further through your feet and through your arms to get really, really long. Keeping the forehead on the mat. Let your legs press into the mat nice and strong and your pubic bone pressing into the mat. We're going to press the top of the right foot into the mat as well, a little bit more than the left. Lengthen through the left toe. Lengthen in the opposite direction through the right fingers. And on an in-breath, continue to lengthen, rooting the pubic bone, and begin to raise the right arm and the left foot. And lift that left leg from the inner left thigh. This will keep the heel up and reach through the toe and out through the fingers. You can lift your head and chest a bit here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, soften. So we're working those muscles and fascia around the low back and sacrum, which we need to support the upper body. Again, inhale, lengthen and lift, reach. It's more about the reach than how high you come. And exhale, slowly release back down. Relax your forehead again to the mat. Just breathe and feel. And this time pressing the top of the right foot into the mat, or left foot into the mat, left foot. Pubic bone is grounded, the legs are strong, and reaching through the left fingers and the right toes. Stay grounded in the legs all the way up to the pubic bone and hips. Inhale, reach in opposite directions and slowly begin to lift. Keep reaching, focus on the lift. Again, from the inner right thigh is where the lift comes. We're pointing back through the toe, out through the fingers, and getting that beautiful stretch through the spinal muscles, the low back. Feel your breath. Ujjayi Dirga Pranayama here. This can be very strenuous. Notice the effect of the breath. One more. Reach and lift. And exhale, softly lower down. This time you can cross your arms, bend your elbows, rest your forehead on your arms if that feels good, or turn your head to one side. If you're feeling any discomfort in your low back, you can bend the knees and rock the feet side to side. And lowering the feet back down to the mat. Let's bring our hands to the side of our chest. And inhale, press into your hands, come onto your knees. And as you exhale, shift your hips back again into child's pose. You can bring the toes together and let the knees come out wide. If that feels good, bring your arms alongside your body, rest your forehead on the mat. And again, as the shoulders are heavy, breathing into the belly, letting that breath move into the low back and expand that area. We can amplify and magnify the effect of breath with our awareness. And slowly coming up, coming to tabletop pose, and then we'll shift our hips and we'll come onto our backs. So it might feel good to have your knees bent, or it might feel good to straighten your legs out for a moment. Just let your body do what feels best. Let your arms be comfortable on the mat or the floor, and just take a couple of breaths. Just feel the weight of your body surrendering into the mat for a couple of moments here. Just allowing the breath to flow freely in the body. And again, just arriving in that emptiness, a natural contentment to simply be. And opening your eyes when you're ready, or keeping your eyes closed. We're going to prepare for bridge pose. So bend the knees if they're straight. Bring the feet together, and then separate the heels and then the toes. So the feet will hopefully end up aligning and also being hip width apart. You don't have to touch your heels with your toes, but have the heels fairly close to your buttocks. And we'll keep the arms alongside the body with the palms down. Setu Bandhasana is a wonderful pose. It's a back bend, so take your time with it. You don't have to come very high. And if you like, you can always rest a block under your sacrum and make it a restorative pose. So press into the feet and take a breath in. And exhale, curl the tail under and begin to allow the hips to lift. Just coming up halfway. Check out how that feels. The chin remains a little bit tucked, so the back of the neck is long on your mat. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale and press into the feet, you might come up a little bit higher. If the knees start splaying out to the side, press into the inner heels. That will help bring them towards each other, so they're still hip width apart. You can press into the balls of the feet and also away, and that's going to lift the hips higher. Find your edge. You can remain here, or you can rock from side to side, bringing one arm and then the other underneath you, squeezing the shoulder blades, interlacing the fingers. This is just an option. And again, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips higher. We want to lengthen the front body, so by pressing into the upper arms, we can lift the heart, creating even more space between the navel and the sternum. Eyes are relaxed, jaws relaxed. And again, if this becomes too strenuous, if you're unable to breathe deeply and fully, then you can come down. You can also place that block under your low back and rest in this easy back bend. Ujjayi Durga Pranayama, right at our edge. One more. And as you exhale, release the arms from underneath you and slowly, vertebra by vertebra, lower back down. And immediately when you come all the way back down, what does your body need? Do you want to straighten your legs or keep them bent? You can circle the knees, you can rock the legs side to side. But let your body fully recover. Come back to the present moment if you've gone away. And just notice what's here. And then when you're ready, we'll again bend one knee and then the other, bringing the feet onto the mat, and cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. So we're going to get a nice hip stretch here. For some of us, this might be fine. If you're here, we always want to flex that right ankle, pulling the toes towards the knee. It's going to protect our knee. And again, you can stay here, maybe rocking side to side, maybe pressing the knee away a little bit, or you can lift up the left foot and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Keep the shoulders back and underneath you. Again, the chin a little tucked, the sacrum on the mat with the tail reaching towards the end of your mat. We're going to take a breath in and exhale very gently. Begin to draw the left thigh into the chest. Let out all the breath. Again, not forcing. And you can also use your left elbow to press the right thigh away a little bit. Ooh, you'll feel a little bit more when you do that. Being very mindful of every sensation. Every exhalation, letting out tensions, but softening into the pose. Drawing energy into the body with inhalations. And exhaling, releasing, softening. You can rotate that left ankle while you're here. Go both directions. And take a nice deep breath. And exhale, slowly lower that left foot to the mat. Keep the right ankle on the thigh. Bring the arms out in a T position with the palms up. And take a full breath in, and as you exhale, just allow that right foot and left knee to slowly fall over to the left. Pay attention to any discomfort. If you find any discomfort coming up, grab one of your blocks, and you can place it underneath your left thigh for support, and just stop right there. And then as you relax, you might go a little further, and you may eventually be able to remove that block and come all the way down. And relax wherever you are. Notice you're gripping in the shoulders, let them relax, the groin, the hips, the face. And if your neck feels comfortable, you can lift the head a little bit and turn your head over to the right. You could reach the right arm up a little bit more on a diagonal if that feels good. And to increase the diagonal stretch, you can take your left hand to your right knee. These are all just suggestions to try. If they don't feel good, then you don't have to do them, of course. But if you press that knee gently away, you're going to get a little bit more of a stretch through the side body. This may not be right for you. And your next inhalation, just bring your arms out to the sides again. Raise your legs back up. Lower that right foot to the mat. And we'll place the left ankle on the right thigh. Flexing the left ankle. Again, staying here or lifting the right foot, interlacing your hands behind the thigh. Keep the shoulders underneath you, shoulders away from the ears, chin tucked. And again, the tail reaching towards the end of your mat. Pull those toes in towards your knee. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale again, gently and slowly draw that thigh into the chest. Feel your whole spine long on the mat. Again, maybe take your left elbow and press that left thigh away. And feel free at any time to shift and move around those areas of tightness. Sometimes the tiniest movement can help release a tight spot. You can even use your fist and pound those areas that might just need a little bit of loosening up. Very effective. Again, we can rotate that right ankle. Follow your breath. Even as we're in a pose, we can remain in that silent place that's always there. Rotate the other direction. And when you're ready, lower the right foot to the mat. Again, keeping the left ankle on the thigh, bringing the arms out in a T with the palms up. Having your block handy if you think you might need it, taking a breath in. And again, exhale, slowly let that right knee, that left foot fall over to the right. Stop at your first edge. Don't push through any sensations. This is where our practice becomes very important, the mindfulness. Stay fully present with every movement, and we bring that into our lives with whatever we're doing in our lives. Sometimes we're not even paying attention to what we're doing. We don't remember what we had for breakfast or dinner or whatever. So let's turn our head to the left if that feels good on your neck. Maybe reach up with the left arm and maybe pressing that left knee away from you to deepen this stretch, only if it feels good. And notice how you can relax as you simply follow your breath. Notice your jaw, your eyes. And on an in-breath, again, release that right arm. Slowly bring the legs back up. Lower the left foot to the mat. And let's tuck both knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around if that's available, or hold your wrists or fingers, or just your hands on your knees. Reach your tail towards the end of your mat. Chin is a little tucked, shoulders away from the ears. And draw the thighs gently into the chest. And again, amplifying and magnifying the effect of breath by focusing in your low back as you breathe deeply into the belly. Feel the effect. On your next in-breath, release your hands, your arms, lower the feet. Let the feet open nice and wide. Bring your arms out in a T position and just let the knees rock in and out, starting slow and getting as wide as feels good. This nice loosening of the hips. And when you feel ready, we'll prepare for Shavasana. So in Shavasana, if you're not comfortable with your legs extended, you can have the soles of the feet together, or just keeping the knees bent and feet wide. Otherwise, just go ahead and extend your legs. You want to give a nice space between the feet so your hips can open. And I like to roll the shoulders underneath me to open my heart up here. Tuck my chin a little bit, so I'm really lengthening the spine as I relax, and then just let everything settle. Feeling the breath slow down. We're still keeping all our awareness in the breath and the body. Letting the exhalations relax all the muscles in your body, just draining out tensions, draining out any remaining thoughts that may creep in. And just remembering that it's normal for the mind to be active, but we're training our mind to focus elsewhere. So returning again and again to the breath and what we're feeling in this moment in the body. Surrender the full weight of your body into the mat, into the earth, and let go. witness the softness of your breath, the ease in your body, and maybe your mind is a little more still. Scanning your body, feeling the energy in the stillness. If you focus for a moment on your feet, you may feel some tingling, buzzing, very, very subtle. Same with your hands. It's okay if you don't feel anything. And then just give your fingers and toes a wiggle. Take a deeper breath. Maybe rotate the ankles and the wrists. And maybe reach the arms overhead and reach in opposite directions with the feet and the arms. And then bending your knees, bringing them into the chest and rolling onto one side. Let your head rest on your arm, curl up in your center. And pressing into that hand on the floor, slowly come up, keeping your eyes closed. Coming back to a seated position. Rest your hands on your thighs. And just reconnect. And bringing the hands to the heart center, very softly touching, feel the warmth, the sensations of your hands. Your thumb touching your chest. Spread your fingers a little wider. And draw your chin down a little bit towards your throat. And thank yourself for showing up, for what you know about yourself, and being here. And then inhaling, lifting the chin. And please join me as we chant Om, taking a deep breath in. Exhaling fully. And inhaling deeply. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to all beings. Jai Bhagwan. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you again for coming to Mindful Yoga.